Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, blessing, and safety to the elect, scattered throughout the four corners of the world. This is the brother Habadir from the GMS Toronto camp coming back at you with another one. And this video is going to be entitled Jake Cannot Discern the Times. I had uploaded this video a few days ago. I tried to upload it about 3 times. First time I tried to upload it, I thought it went through, but I looked back, it didn't. So I re-uploaded it again. And then the elder from the Toronto camp messaged me letting me know there's no sound, which I found very weird because in the recording, when I played back and listened to it, there was sound. But when I put it on the YouTube, there's no sound. So, third time's a charm. So anyways, the title for this one is Jake Cannot Discern the Times. Because with everything going on right now, Jake be still caught up they be still caught up in bread and circus. Their mind is not uh you know is not focused on their mind is not focused on the Lord at the end of the day. They're not focused on Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. They're not focused on the Bible. They're not focused on this truth. They're more focused on getting the bag, getting the money, stacking that bread up. They love the riches of this world, and because this was inspired because I was talking to a Jake at work, and these Jakes, there's more than one of them, but they're caught up in the stock market. When he keeps telling me, he's like, yo, you're not gonna get on the stock thing. You're not trying to make bread. You're not trying to stack. You're not trying to save up 30 racks in 2 years. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with getting money, but as long as it's not in a unrighteous way. But just me personally, my mind is not I don't have time to be focused on stocks and checking my phone every minute to see if I'm losing or if I'm winning. That's just not in me. I'm my mind is more focused on the kingdom. What's to come. My mind is more focused on all the prophecies and all the news that's kicking off right now. It's just so much. It's like every day there's something else. So that us the hopeful elect, that that's where our concern is. That's what our attention is focused on, is these prophecies, is focused on this truth. While Jake is here, focused on getting his money up, not realizing that damn thing's about to crash. Look at the state of what's going on right now. Anyways, this is Matthew 16 verse 2 in the G&T. But Yahushua answered, when the sun is setting, you say, we are going to have fine weather, because the sky is red. The early in the morning, you say it is going to rain, because the sky is red and dark. You can predict the weather by looking at the sky, but you cannot interpret the signs concerning these times. So you don't see the value of the dollar decreasing, the wars and rumors of wars, this energy lockdown that they're talking about, um you know uh things, the war, and just everything, the the ICE agents, um these terror threats. You don't see all these things going on. All the way Trump is moving, and you can understand that these are concerning times. It doesn't concern you the fact that there could be sleeper cells, around you, just waiting to, do the work, you know, of their higher ups. Jake's who wrapped up in the money thing. Jake wants to be here forever at the end of the day. You know, they want to be under Esau's rulership forever and ever, as long as it means that they could get money. Get money and buy the finest of the finest. Not realizing that all this shit is gonna pass away. Verse 4, how evil and godless are the people of this day. You know, they are, man. You know, they have no regard for the Most High. They only want to pray. They only want to believe when things aren't going their way. When they get caught up in a jam, then they want to throw prayers, or when they get sick, then they want to throw prayers. And they're not even praying in the correct name. And the thing about you, Jake, you know, I'm not talking to the hopeful, like I'm not talking to the sincere believers out there. Jake knows about the Hebrew Israelites. A lot of Jake know, but they just choose to ignore it. You know, they choose to ignore it, but then yet, you know, they be sitting in them Sunday churches. You know, this is First John chapter 2 verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. And Jake loves this world. Jake loves those paper notes. Jake likes chasing the bag. you know and but that's 2/3 of our people. At the end of the day, 2/3 of our people, are gonna learn, but they're gonna learn the hard way. you know and then Jake will look at you crazy because you don't want to be a part of the money scheme. Like, yo, you ain't serious. You're not serious. You're damn right. I ain't serious about you know the cares of this world, this life. You know, we more concerned about making it onto them chariots. You know, we more concerned about having the Lord having mercy on us when all hell breaks loose. You know, what happens when the stock market crashes? And I said this to Jake. I said, what happens when the stock market crashes? You know, I'm like, you over there trading in USD, and the USD is not even backed by anything. But Jake is ignorant. Jake will know these things, but still, you know, still be occupied with that stuff instead of seeking the truth, seeking Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know, they don't see all these wars, all this talk about World War III, and you're not concerned. Oh, because it's not over here yet. You know, because no bombs is dropping over here on North American soil. No big T attacks are popping off. So everything is back to regular schedule program. You know, verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the point in 17, and the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. You know, all that and that. You know, doing the will of Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, that is our duty. That is our duty as men. That is our duty as Hebrew Israelites. You know, that's our duty, is to do the will of Yahweh Shem Shai, to the best of our ability in truth and sincerity, and not be caught up. Yeah, you gotta pay your bills. Yeah, you gotta go to work. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having some fun. There's nothing wrong with buying nice things. But you know, that's not the focus. That's not the focus of our mind. You know, 1 Corinthians 7:31, and they that use this world as not abuse it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. You know, just like I said, you gotta take care of what you gotta take care of. You know, you gotta pay your bills. You don't pay your bills, you get evicted. You don't pay your car note, they come and take your shit. You know, you don't go to work, you get fired. You get all that. If you're not making money, you can't take care of your family. You can't take care of yourself. You know, there's nothing wrong with doing what you got to do in order to better yourself in society, but that should not be the focus. You know, the focus should be this truth. You know, your Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai. That should be the focus. You know, and like I said, Jake, you know, just like in the days of Noah. You know, Noah was out there prophesying. You know, and then it wasn't until it started to rain, things started to get shaky, the water started to rise, and then people wanted to pay attention. You know, then they realized that everything that they were doing leading up to that point was meaningless. You know, had no value. You know, the real treasure is this truth. You know, these precepts, these videos. You know, that's the real truth. You know, that's gonna, you know, this truth is forever. You know, it's not gonna pass away. You know, Lord willing, we make it onto those chariots. This truth is now gonna be in our inward parts. You know, we just gonna just know. You know, we're never gonna go off. Be perfect. Colossians 3:2, set your affection on things above and not things on the earth. You know, setting we're putting our mind towards the kingdom, you know, and all the benefits that are gonna come with it. And we don't even know, you know, we don't even know all the benefits. You know, some of them, you know, but what what our Lord has in store for us, you know, is far beyond what we can even imagine. And it's motivating, it's comforting, you know, it's comforting knowing that this way of life is not forever. There's Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and 2, vanity of vanity. Said the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanities. What profit hath a man of all his labor which is taken under the sun? You know, everything that you're working hard for now, you can't take none of that with you to the kingdom. That house, that nice house you know you worked hard for, you know, the nice car, the clothing, the jewelry, that your TD bank account, you know, your Scotiabank bank account. You can't take none of that. I want to get the word vanity.
Strong's H, 1892. Hevel, Hevel.
Vapor, breath, vapor, vanity. Vig. vainly. So it's just meaningless. All that USD, all that stock money, gonna be nothing. And that's why, and that's why Jake gonna take that chip. A lot of Jake gonna take that chip in order to obtain their riches. You know, they're not gonna want to lose us in their bank account. You know, or even if say everything, say the market crashes. You know, everything is gone, done away with. The money of old, because we already know that's what they want to go digital with everything. You know, and come with their reset. You know, they might Esau might be, you know, giving out free digital money for people who take the chip, you know, because people are gonna lose a lot, you know, especially if everything collapses. And Esau could be like, you take this chip, we'll give you 5,000 CBDC, you know, or whatever they're gonna call it, 5,000, and people are gonna jump to it. People are gonna jump to a loan because you're not gonna be able to buy or sell unless you have that chip, you know. Or maybe they make it to people that are were well off. You get the chip, everything you had in your account just goes right over, you know, downloaded right into your wrist or your forehead. Who knows? But a lot of people are gonna take it, just to obtain what they already had, or to obtain you know what they've lost. So that's why it says, that's why you can't love this world. That's why it says, the um love of money is the root of all evil. It's just that love, it's that lust for it that you just can't do without it. That it's what drives you, it's what gets you excited. This is Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it's polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. And that's what the hopeful elect, that's what we're doing right now. We're departing from this place. We're detaching. What's the word I'm looking for? We are what's the word? What's the word? The word can't come to mind. But yeah, we're just getting away from this to this world. Because it's polluted. Everything. The air is polluted, the food's polluted, the clothing is polluted, the entertainment is polluted, everything is polluted. Esau done touched everything and polluted it. So that's why Yahushai has to come back and restore this place, this world into righteousness. So Jake's gotta depart, depart from this world. Seek Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Seek him while he may be found. Seek him before all hell breaks loose. Because the way things are looking, we're we're just one major crisis away from everything just going to shits. It's like a ticking time bomb. But Jake Jake can't discern the time. They ain't gonna understand what's going on till it's too late. So that's gonna do it for this video. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace, blessing, and safety to all the elect out there scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. I pray this lesson was edifying, and until the next one, Shalom.